RACQ networks is probably a little bit more secure than it needs to be, but I'll show you what it looks like when I run the tests. So I've actually had to open up my laptop and load up Postman and then hook this into the RACQ network. Let me just get set up 1 second. Okay, so ignoring all of those other things, you can see on the left, we've got 21 different requests. And if we just open one of them up, if you hover over one of the environment variables, you can see the URL string that's been passed in. Then you set the environment based on up here. I do have 2 development environments, but just ignore that. Then you can see that I've got my headers, and you can see that I've got my API key that has been passed in here from the environment again. And so you've got the tests at the very end. And so if you were to click send, and you get a response back. This is the response that comes back from the endpoint, and these are the headers that come back. And more importantly, here are the test results from the, I guess, the above test cases that you've run. So in here, you've just got all these different test cases. You've got a few for check, a few for acknowledge. So yeah, you're meant to just make sure that anytime you're extending functionality of your application system, build out a test case, build out a scenario on what you want to actually happen, right? So work out, hey, if I've got this input data payload, what do I expect to come back? And that's where you use all these test cases to try and verify what is actually coming back. So if you run that, all of these should pass. They're coming back as a 200, coming back within about half a second, and you're getting a message back. And so according to these test results, they all pass the test. So the response is as expected. But yeah, this was a part 2 from the previous session, and the previous session simply ended because I wasn't able to get connectivity from my virtual machine, and that was purely because of the way that RACQ has set it up, and I don't believe those types of connections are permitted from the virtual development machines into AWS at the moment. But yeah, here I'm just demonstrating when you're on the laptop, it's hooked up to the network. Yeah, you still can run the tests. But when you're running this on your solution in the code pipeline, what happens is it actually spins up a little machine within the VPC. So you're not really impacted by the RACQ firewalls. So if it's not too much trouble and you don't mind just relying on the code pipeline to do all the testing, so you can do it that way. But if you do want to, I guess, test it with Postman on your own desktop, then either using your laptop, or we might have to look into opening up more ports on the firewall. Because I do believe they did open up the ports a little while back, but probably they've changed something and those ports are now closed again. Anyway, that's it for this session. Just part 2, and just to demonstrate that connectivity does work. Thanks.